We just finished our morning exercise, so he's a little bit tired. And the girl over here in the shade is Storm, also known as Stormy, also known as Stormlicious, also known as Licious. Sometimes I just call her all those names. I don't know how my dog knows their names, but my dogs have at least 4 or 5 names each. And I just rotate between the names, and they seem to do fine with them. But we're here to just kind of give you an update. Look at my Connie Corso. He is completely laid out. Come on, big boy. Is the sun getting to you? Is it getting too warm? So when I run my dogs, obviously I use my little golf cart here. It's gas powered little thing, but I put them on leashes. You saw me take the leash off already. And they just trot alongside me. It's great because look at how tired they are. I mean, can you imagine trying to keep up with two big dogs like this? What am I? Oh, she had to go poop, y'all. So you probably can't see her, but she's over there pooping. That's the other benefit of doing a nice exercise in the morning is they have to let those bowels go. But he's exhausted. You can tell. We didn't go as far as we normally go because Stormy was, you know, Storm the Rottweiler. She was a little bit sore in her back hip, so we tried to take it a little bit easy today. But I wanted to make sure this guy is the one that, he's the youngster. He's the 2-year-old. And so he needs all the exercise that he can get, every day, daily exercise. Because he does have a tendency, if you have a Connie Corso, you know what I'm talking about. They have a tendency of sometimes being a little destructive. And so this guy needs as much exercise as you possibly can give him. Obviously, big dogs can't do like the kind of work that you would expect a German Shepherd or maybe some of those running dogs that you normally see people running jogging with. You won't expect them to do miles like 5 and 6 miles, but one and a half maybe is the max I'll go with these guys. I mean, he seems to do fine with about 1.25 mile, and this is the result you get. Just kind of a relaxed dog, panting. They haven't even gotten water yet. They're so tired. They're just ready for water. And then the Rottweiler. Let's go visit the Rottweiler. Come on, let's go find Storm. Come on. You coming? Or are you tired? I knew he was going to come. So if you have a Connie Corso, these guys don't miss a beat. They do not want to lag behind for any reason. If you walk away, they want to know why, and they want to come with you. So this guy, he's going to come with me. And we're going to check on Storm. Storm is relaxing in the cool grass over here. This makes me so happy to see my dogs nice and relaxed. And one of the reasons I want to come on, I missed a week or two streaming, but it's been so beautiful here in Texas, and my dogs are loving it. They're loving this. Like even the grass here has been just wonderful. Yeah, it's heating up a little bit now. Oh, thank you, Stylish. Appreciate you. So adorable. She's eating grass actually. But they love it out here. They love this coming in this. There's still dew on the ground, and they had their run, and so look at her. She's just all sprawled out, cooling off. They haven't even gotten any water, hadn't got any food yet, and they're just super happy. Now, granted, it's 8:43 in the morning. Look, he's laying back down, y'all. He's like, I gotta lay down in the cool. So he's not doing the grass thing, but he's doing the concrete thing, and it's pretty nice and cool over there. But yeah, it's just the perfect time for them to get their exercise done in the morning while it's early. Not many people are out, and so they don't get distracted. So if you have dogs that get distracted while you're walking, you have to kind of work on that, and that's where I'm at. I work pretty diligently to make sure that my dogs don't get into trouble when they're exercising. That's why I use my leashes, and I don't have. So let me show you this leash real quick so you understand what I'm talking about. So this is the part. This is the part where I put on the dog. But the nice thing about this leash, let me show you. So it's kind of one of those. It gets tighter as they pull away from you, but it goes up. It only gets tight to a certain point, and you can set that point however tight you want. So I have it just enough tight around their neck where it gets them the message, but it doesn't choke them out. So this is a really, really cool leash. So it gives you that negative feedback that you need, but it only goes to a certain point and then it stops. Okay. And of course they have a little stopper here to make sure it doesn't come all the way off their neck and they just run free. So I'm trying to make sure that my dog stays safe the entire time and not injured. But at the same time, I want them to have that message if they're pulling and getting distracted and trying to go catch a squirrel. Are you eating grass? I'm eating that grass. You eating grass? Me baby's eating grass. Yes, she is. Look at that. She got grass on her tongue. So yeah, she's just having fun. But though the leashes are really cool. So a lot of people kind of are afraid to put these kind of leashes on their dogs, but there's ways to do it where it's safe, where it doesn't really hurt them. Like I said, this little stop joint here, or this little stop little thing, helps you kind of relax your mind and that your dog's not going to get choked out. You know, they get the message, but they won't get hurt. Anyway, so I got two of those, and I put them on both my Cane Corso and the Rottweiler, and then oh no, joking. But it makes for a great, and I give them feedback too. So whenever they're kind of going um, dangerous side, hey, what's going on? Mark the liars talking about my dog's cheeks clapping. Yeah, they do clap. If you ever watch a Rottweiler, when they walk away, they have a very unique walk. So I don't know if they be clapping or not, but but that's kind of a funny comment. Either way, she enjoys doing these runs. Yeah, your dog will enjoy. If you don't exercise your dog, you're missing out on life. Your dogs are missing out. You know what I mean? So you have a pit bull, nice, good cat. Aldi is calling my dogs a cat. Okay. But yeah, you're missing out if you don't exercise your dogs. You got to get them to do that. Um, so I found this is just a great way to, now you could say I'm missing out on my personal exercise. Yeah, I mean, I know people like to walk their dogs themselves, and that's great. And if you can jog with your dog, all the better. My challenge is these guys are really, really curious. I mean, and then they feed off each other. So if you have two dogs, you kind of know what I'm talking about. When one dog gets distracted, then the other one's like, "Oh, you're distracted. I'm gonna get distracted too." And then they both start going different directions. They double team you. So I have to have a little bit of leverage whenever my dogs double team me. That's why I use these, like I said, these leashes that have that. What do they call it? They call it choke collar leashes or whatever they called. You get what I'm saying. I use these on them, and it gives me leverage. And then with me on my golf cart, I can use one arm and I'm strong enough to make sure that I can hold on to both dogs. Are you getting tired, baby? You getting tired? Yeah. Somebody's saying, "What the heck? Why does the cat look like a? Why are you calling my dog a cat?" Yeah, here you go. Aldi wants to get pet for you. Here you go. But yeah, it's just the perfect little combination. Let's go visit the Cane Corso. The golf cart and the leashes work great for me. And like I said, you have to train them to kind of stay away from the front of the wheels because if you're not careful, they can dart. Like if they're curious, like my dogs are, sometimes they'll dart across the front of you. So you have to be very, very diligent to make sure that they don't like get hit by the tire or the front of the car. But as long as you can kind of control for those factors and you do a good job, these guys get a good workout. I mean, how long have I been streaming now? Like, I don't know, 15 minutes, and this guy's still panting. That's how you know you've got a good workout. And their behavior is so much better, guys. I'm trying to tell you, these guys and what's his favorite food or treat? Their favorite food are pig ears. So we buy the pig ears. It's not that. They'll chew on these little bones and stuff like this, which is fine. I don't mind these. I think this is a Nyla bone, whatever. We just kind of have these laying around everywhere. But their favorite treat is the pig ears, and I actually use their desire for pig ears to take them places or get them going somewhere. If I want them to go into their kennels, for instance, I usually coax them with a pig ear, and they love them. Absolutely love them. It's organic. They could digest the whole thing and poop it out. So it's not like the stupid, what was it, rawhide that people try to sell you. You eat too much of that rawhide stuff, or even just bones. I've seen some dogs have had too many like real bones. I don't know if people are giving their dogs chicken bones or whatever, but they can get impacted with those bones, and they could be have to have surgery. So we try to minimize the number of bones that we get. Like if we go to Texas Roadhouse, whatever, get some ribs, we'll bring the bones home for them, and they'll chew on those individually for a couple of days, and then we just cut it off. No more bones. Everything else is either pig ears or kibble. We do have a lot of little like training treats that we use, And that helps. You know, any of those little peanut butter type snacks, they love it, absolutely love it. But you got to be careful because these guys, they're like humans. You give them dirty food, they will get fat on you really quick. And so we've had to change our diet with this girl because she was getting a little thick. You know, homeboy was talking about clapping earlier, but she was getting thick right in the middle. So we had to really make an effort to reduce some of her calories and watch the number of treats that we give her. Oh, you only have cats and you want to have a dog? Yeah, man. Dogs are cool. Yeah, see that Cotty Corso. These guys, they have FOMO really bad. So if you are thinking about getting them a Cotty Corso, just realize they are curious. They will always want to be by your side and they don't want to miss anything. They can't miss a single thing. If you get up to go to the bathroom, they want to know about it. How long you going to be in the bathroom? They want to know about it. If you come to the house, they want to know about it. You know, this girl, she's a watch and wait kind of person. Like if things don't seem right, oh man, she'll engage. This Rottweiler will engage, scare everybody. You know what I mean? Not me, of course, because we're used to her. But if you're not used to a Rottweiler, she will let you know something's out of place. But she's not going to be like following you to the bathroom every time you get up to go get something to drink. You know, this guy, I'll get up and I'll go in circles in my living room. I just walk around in circles just so he can just follow me around. He doesn't even care. He's like, as long as I'm with you, it don't matter. And he's got to poop, by the way. Oh, he's peeing, I think. I got to finish doing the yard work. But yeah, so it's been a wonderful morning for these guys. So last time I was on, I think I was talking about two major things that I'm working on with these dogs. So just know that when you get big dogs, you're gonna always have something that you kind of have to work on. You know, you never get to this spot where everything's perfect. At least I'm not aware that that could happen. Maybe you guys have figured out how to be. Oh yeah, he's got to poop now. Poor guy. Well, not poor guy. He's happy. He's happy. He's pooping. He's living his best life, right? But you're gonna always have something to work on. And so with my girl here, besides her weight, which we kind of made a big, huge dent in her slimming down a little bit. And it's mainly because I wanted her to have less stress on her joints. Because, like I said, she gets pretty sore. He's done. He's happy. Look at him. Oh, you done, big boy? You happy? You had to let that go? Rain, you had to let it go? So, y'all, I feel free now. I feel free. I had to let it go. Drax, man, what's up, man? El Gato Malo is back. This guy feels free. He had to let it go. So we always have something to work on with these big dogs. So with this guy, let me show you what I've been working on with him. Let everybody see your problem. Come on, let everybody see. I know you're embarrassed. I'm sorry to embarrass you, buddy. But this is what we're working on. Them dirty teeth. He's been getting his teeth brushed consistently now because when I looked at his mouth one day and I was like, dude, your teeth are dirty. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of it. Can y'all see how his teeth are brown on the tips? And we actually may have to get the vet to scrape some of that stuff off. But at least we need to start getting in the habit of brushing his teeth. He's going to develop a little bit of tartar on his teeth if we don't stay on top of it. So that's been our mission with this guy. He's a good boy. We keep him exercise. He's even better. And but now we got to work on them teethies, as they say. Them teethies. Look at that. Look how dirty those teeth are, y'all. Yeah, this is us not realizing and not jumping in and taking care of it sooner. So now we got to play catch up. And we brush our teeth every morning now, just like a human. All right, so that's our project with this big boy. Now this girl, her project. What is your project? Show everybody what we got to work with you. Come on. Let's see it. Come on. Don't give me them eyes. Oh, don't give me those eyes. You give me those eyes. Oh, I love you too. This is what we're working with her. Ta-da! Long nails. And as you can see, her wick is right up at the tip. Let's see if I can get. I'm sorry, big girl. We'll try to show everybody your wicks. You see? Uh-oh. I don't know if you saw that or not, but they're Am I saying wick? I'm sorry. I meant quick. It's called quick, y'all. Don't listen to me when I say stuff wrong. I meant quick. So dogs have this vascular bundle and soft tissue that goes underneath their nail. So her quick is all the way almost to the tip of those long nails. So we have to when we do her nails, we got to be super careful with not to injure that because it's painful and then they hate it. So he went inside. He had to go get him some water, I guess. But yeah, so that's our project with her. And I'll tell you the best way to do the nails. Well, at least from in my case, because if you have a dog that you have to do their nails, they typically don't like that. They really hate it. And I went through so many different options, and I know there's a lot of people that say, and it's true. I think they're correct. You do need to kind of give it more of a positive association. So if you're using those regular clippers, you want to kind of introduce it to them, give them treats, say, hey, this is a good thing. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Be sweet with it and just kind of get them to get used to it being in their present, get used to touching them, get used to it as you know what I'm saying? I know there's a way to do that with the regular clippers, but in my case, I found the best way that she tolerates it well and I enjoy the experience is using a Dremel tool, y'all. That by far has been the best way for me to trim her nails where she's happy, I have a lot of control, and we get the job done. And I can do it literally every single week until her and I've been working on it for the last 3 weeks, I think, every week like clockwork. It's a little bit of increment, like a little bit at a time, until I can get her quick to come back. And it's oh, he's back, y'all. You probably can't see him, but he's doing his old what is that? He's in his panther walk. That's just what we call it, panther walk. Hey, Katrina. Freddie says, what's her name? Her name is Storm. Katrina said, oh, so cute. Trevor says, have you, at least, did he sit? What? Did he that right? No, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about there. Rose says, hey, super cute. Arkedonsk says, 100%. Wolfpack says, cute. Thank you. Lion Zion said, hey. Yeah, he's a big boy. But yeah, that Dremel tool. And so let me tell you, when I use the Dremel, oh, thank you, Katrina, for subscribing. I appreciate you. Ava says hi. What's going on, Ava? But what I do is like while she's sitting here, for instance, just like I was showing you how I turn her paw backwards, and I kind of use her. Let me see if I can show you with her without her getting mad. Okay, sweetie, let me show. We gotta show how we do your nails. So something like this, I usually turn it from behind, and I hold it, kind of hold her joint here, and then I use the Dremel with the other hand and really get around there so that I can see how close I am getting to her quick. So that's how I typically do her nails, and it's been working out beautifully. She doesn't mind because the Dremel, it does have like a vibrating feet. It kind of vibrates because it's spinning real fast. So what I do is I hold each individual nail, like I hold it, pinch it with my hand, so the vibration is a little less, and all the energy is directed towards that dark hard nail. Anyways, I went on and on, but I think that's, look at him with the bone, y'all. That Dremel, I'm telling you, it's worth the investment. I think I paid maybe like $30 for it, $40 at max, So it was worth it, y'all. It's totally worth it. And if you have the same problem as I have with the nails kind of gotten out of control, I mean, you got to have something that they are used to being, because you can't just do it like once every like 4 months. You got to do it like almost every week to get that quick back. And, and the other thing I like about the Dremel is when it gets to the soft tissue, it doesn't just immediately tear into her soft tissue. Now she'll feel it, and that gives me the indication, okay, maybe I've gotten a little too close. But it doesn't just like, when you know those clippers where you clap, where it's just like cuts. If you have the quick is inside there, man, it'll just cut right through her flesh. So that's why I just like, you know what, Dremel that's our way to do her nails, Dremel. So anyway, so I wish I could Dremel his teeth, get that tartar off of his teeth. Haza, what's going on? You love Rotties? I do too. Rotties are so cool, man. They are amazing dogs. If you want a big dog and you're not used to big dogs, like this is your first time big dog, do some research. Spend some time with a Rottie and decide on what you want to get. But I would recommend, maybe if you're moving up to the big dogs, maybe starting with a family friendly dog like a Rottweiler. Now here's a caveat. Let me say this real quick. This dog doesn't they're not necessarily naturally family. They are to a degree. I don't want to paint this dog as a bad breed. What I'm trying to say is that you still have to do a little work. You still have to exercise your dog. You still have to make sure you give them boundaries, and you still have to give them feedback to what you want how them to behave in your household. So good foundation to begin with. Great dog for your kids, your spouse, or your family. Perfect dog for that. And I would say this girl here, once she knew the family member, like my mom and dad, they don't come around a whole lot, but when they do come around, she remembers them like they were here yesterday, and she just loves them. Like, she is just a loving dog. But strangers that she's never met, she does not have any patience for them. No patience whatsoever. I didn't even see your King Corso. I have 4 Rottweilers, bro. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's over there. We'll go see him in just a second. But I'm just letting you know, yeah. I mean, so if you have Rottweilers, you know what I'm talking about, right? So they tend to, they really don't care a lot for other people. Now, here's the other thing. Some dogs, I have seen some Rottweilers who will kind of, first time meeting you, they'll love on you just the same. Like almost like a lab, But for some reason, some of these Rottweilers are very, very like, if you don't socialize them very well, if they just kind of stay around family all the time, they only know family and they won't. So I will say you probably can take a dog like mine who's not really tolerant of other people and maybe introduce them more and more to strangers until they get to that point. But, for me, I almost gave up because it was so much work to try to socialize her. She really wasn't doing very well, and she was unpredictable. That's the thing. Like one time I took her to the dog park, and I took them both, because the Connie Corso, he's actually cool with people. Like he doesn't really like mind meeting new people. Like he'll like, oh hey, what's up? How you doing? What's your name? Okay, cool. He'll start a conversation with you, lick you in your face and everything. But this girl here, let me describe the story real quick so you can kind of see the picture. So I had them both, right? I had her and I had the Connie Corso. This lady, real nice lady, right? She came up. The Connie Corso was so happy to see somebody new for a change, so tired of looking at my face. You know what I mean? And then she's like, "Oh, come here." And he was like, "Yeah, give me some love." And she got jealous. She was like, "Okay, I want to be petted too by this lady." And then, but at the same time, she was like, "But I don't know this lady." So the lady was like, and she was acting, she was kind of begging to be petted too. So the lady was like, okay, well, I'll come pet you. So she goes right for her face like this, right? And starts rubbing on my Rottweiler. And then in a split second, y'all, Storm decided, oh no, I'm not having no stranger touch me like this. And she riled back and almost bit that lady in the hand. And I yanked her collar back in a millisecond of time. And the lady spun around and screamed. She screamed loud, and I was super embarrassed too, y'all. I was embarrassed because I was like, I thought she was gonna, like, she was giving me all the signs that she wanted to be pet, just like the Connie Corso. But she just like flipped just like that, and I was like, okay, well, we got to be careful with her and strangers. Like, she'll ask for you to pet her, and then realize that you're not her family, and then get mad about it. You can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You just can't have it both ways. Hunger Games said hi. What's up, Hunger Games? Jana, what's up? Hunger Games, I love your dog. Thank you. I appreciate you, Hunger Games. And Freddie's laughing. And Freddie's like, I was there too. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. She ever have puppies? Freddie, no. So we had her fixed. We didn't really want to be in. We didn't want to breed her. Like, I mean, it would have been a great thing to maybe breed. I think he would have been a great one because he's kind of got good genes. You know what I mean? Like, he comes from a line of really, really nice, well trained, very well tempered dogs. I think he would have been the better one of the two, maybe to carry on the genes, because I think his genes are really well maintained. I mean, he's AKC certified. His parents are well certified. Like this guy here, his genes are probably worth preserving for the breed standards and for health wise. In her case, I'm concerned with her hip dysplasia issues, and I'm not even entirely sure that's a good thing to kind of propagate. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we got her from a coworker, and the coworker, she's a really great person, awesome. Her family's awesome. We love them to pieces. But I don't know if she recognized the issues that maybe were kind of in the gene population. So I think this hip dysplasia, because this dog is only 4 years old. I mean, she'll be 5 this November, but she's only 4 years old, and she's got hip dysplasia already. And it doesn't hurt her when I touch her like this, not at all. She doesn't seem to care. But when she starts walking, especially right now after she's ran, jogged, and now she's resting, if I get her up, she's gonna be sore. And so what I'm gonna do after this is we're gonna go inside and give her some doggy ibuprofen to kind of help with the inflammation, help with the pain. So when she's resting, she's fully resting. But yeah. So my point being is, I'm not convinced that it's a good idea to keep this hip issue going, because if you look at her mom, and we visit her mom frequently, and her mom is just like her, same kind of thing with the hip. So probably not a good idea to kind of keep those genes going. We'll enjoy her. We love her for who she is, and make sure she has the best life that she can have. But I'm not sure passing on these genes is a good idea for the breed. Yeah, beautiful girl. Love her to pieces. Wouldn't trade her for the world. I think him, on the other hand, though, he's got some amazing genes behind him, and I think just for preservation of the breed, I think he would have been. But we decided not to breed him because it was just too much work for us. And you have to be able to have the time and patience and money and all that stuff to breed a dog. Now his sister, on the other hand, his sister, my coworker, she is about to breed his sister, and she looks just like him too. By the way, if you saw them side by side, you really wouldn't know which dog is which. And yeah, exactly, or Haza. I'm sorry, you're correct about that. Very, very loyal, very, very strong, and a high PSI. Yeah, absolutely, those are absolutely correct statements. Very intelligent. Yes, 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 yes. And I'll give you examples of maybe the intelligence. I think that this guy, even though she's smart in her own right, but I think she's smart because she's older and she's kind of figured some things out. So for our family, she's kind of adjusted to the point where we're in a spot where she gets us and we get her. Okay, so it makes her look really intelligent because she's figured out what we don't like and what we like. Okay, he, on the other hand, is a little more like, he marches to his own beat sometimes. So you have to be very, very direct with what you want him to do or not want him to do. You have to be very, very, very confident in your abilities. Her, you don't necessarily have to be as confident because she's going to do what she's going to do. This guy, if he doesn't get clear directions, he will say, this is what you're going to do. Like, he will tell you what to do. And if you don't comply, he will issue punishment, you know what I mean, to make sure you comply with his orders. So he's a natural leader, but he also will be led if you give him the correct guidance to do so. So nonetheless, I think the genes are very, very well for this breed. It takes a special kind of person to want to raise a dog like this. You gotta have that sauce, that leadership sauce. If you don't have that leadership sauce, man, you're in a world of hurt. You're making a mistake if you don't want to be a leader around this dog. He will make you be a leader. I'm military, so leadership is kind of what I've been kind of made to be like. You know what I'm saying? So for us, our family, this is not a bad choice. But if you're not used to that type of leadership, giving directions and being firm, setting boundaries, if you're not used to that kind of thing, I would not recommend you take a dog like this, because this dog will challenge you, and he will get the impression that you're not the leader, and he will take over your household. Sweet dog, he'll be sweet like this, but he will also tell you what to do. Melissa said, laughing, says hi. Hey, Melissa. Melissa Borgion, or Bordignon? Borginon. I think that's Borginon. Is that how you say that? How's this, Speedy? One rule I always go by is never show fear. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the cues, right? So if your dog is walking towards you, or if this big dog like this walks towards you, and you instinctually, out of fear, walk backwards, that's a mental cue for them that you are inferior to them, right? But if he walks towards you, you either stay at your ground, you know. Well, if you don't know the dog, first of all, you got to be careful with that. Really need to make sure that you're safe. But if this is your dog and you know this dog and you have a relationship already, if you're acting like you're afraid of him when he steps to you, like here's an example. This guy, I'm not a huge guy, but I'm over 200 pounds, right? I'm a big dude. Okay, so I have a presence around him, and I maintain my presence. I maintain my leadership, and kind of that military side I was telling you about when I'm around him. So he respects me when I walk in the room. You know what I mean? Like he just sees that in me. Okay, I'm not saying I'm some awesome leader or some big shot, nothing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this dog senses my leadership skills when I walk around him, what I display in front of him, and he respects that. Now, but a lot of that is because of my size. I'm a bigger dude, I'm military, I work out, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of there. But when you're like, my wife is not like that, right? So she's not military. She's not in the gym as, like I am or whatever. So, but she still has to have that level of respect from him. You know what I mean? She still has to maintain that. And so the things that she does, like when he steps, she'll be sitting on the couch and he'll be like, all right, I'm getting on the couch with you, mama. And she has to say, no, hold her ground. Maybe have to offer a push. Say, nope, you're not going to do this, or snap of the finger. Set those boundaries. Even though she's smaller, even though she's not, pumping iron like this, she can still have that mental. My daughter is a master at that, man. Let me tell you what my daughter, she's the smallest of the family, right? She's the tiny one. My daughter is instinctually great when it comes to leadership of this dog. And she's found out that what he doesn't like the most is water squirted at him. So she gets her little hair spray bottles and put water in it. And she asserts her dominance. Like, hey, she tells him to do something. He doesn't do it. He gets a little squirt a little in the face. And the guy, he's associated. Look, if I don't do what that little girl tells me to do, I get squirted. So inherently, she earns his respect, and she gives him that clear directions, clear boundaries, and it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. That's what it. So if you're not aware, this is what it takes to own a big Cane Corso like this. Now, I'm not saying every Cane Corso is the same, but for the most part, these guys like this need that kind of leadership. They need that kind of boundary setting. Now, like I said, the other major thing they need is what we just did this morning, which is that workout. We got to stay strong. Got to get that heart pumping. We got to work out. What's up? Sissy has hip issues. Unfortunately, if you don't remember, Sissy is half Corso and half Barbell. I've done everything I can, including supplements. Got anything for me? So yeah, I will say, Vince, if you're dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with her, with the hip issues, hip dysplasia issues, it's kind of similar to osteoarthritis in humans, where, I mean, if there was a cure for it, and I think there is some surgery that you can do, but I'm really hesitant to do any surgery because she's so young. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like. I'm a little bit hesitant. Now, if my vet says, look, she's at the point where she has to have surgery for her quality of life, then, hey, by all means, we're going to hit the surgery up. But in her case, the way we're managing it is we're being mindful of how much she exercises. When I run my dogs, I run at her pace, not at his pace. Because the Cane Corso, he's actually pretty athletic. Like, he's tall and big and everything, but he is super athletic. Again, I don't do more than 1.25 miles. That's probably the max I'll go. Because I think because he weighs a lot, so his joints could be at risk by having so much pounding. But in terms of athleticism, of speed, and this guy he's younger too. He's only 2 years old, so he can really outperform her. So I have to go at her pace. They're kind of in different areas right now. She's hiding behind these chairs, so I go at her pace. And then the other thing I do is I give her ibuprofen, literally just ibuprofen. Now, I would say here's another thing that we've kind of toyed with, and Paul, one of the moderators here on this channel, he's a big believer, and he's actually helped out a lot with helping push the message of having a raw diet for the dogs, because there may be some link between processed foods and inflammatory issues and stuff like that. So so I'm not sure, Vince, if you've considered maybe switching over to a raw diet, if that would be offer any help. But some of these dogs like this thrive very, very well on a raw diet. Now, the trick with raw diet is you got to make sure that you have the right proportions of organs and muscle, bone, cartilage, and things like that, and liver. I mean, you have to make sure that they get the right proportions of what they need, because if not, they'll have deficiencies. The kibble scientifically supposedly have everything your dog needs, and so they've already kind of done the calculation: the iron, magnesium, zinc, all the stuff that your dog needs to survive. They've already kind of calculated that into the kibble. So that's the advantage of using kibble, but it's also processed foods. So if you can do the raw diet but make sure you're giving them all the components that they need, then it's not, that may offer some help. So make sure you get a prescription. Now, she has a prescription from her vet for the ibuprofen. It's called carboprofen, and not so it's not human ibuprofen. I'm not sure what the difference is, and I haven't looked it up. So I'm not advocating to give your dog a human medication. She uses carboprofen, which is a vet medicine for your dog. Ibuprofen, anti-inflammatory. Let's just say it like that. And so she takes that PRN, or what they call as needed, and it's also prescribed potentially daily. So I'm very, very careful, because I like to kind of know if she's struggling or not, and if she's having a good day, I kind of rather not give her the medication. Now, someone may say, well, you probably should give your dog anti-inflammatory every day because they're dealing with it every day. I'm more conservative. I just want to say, look, I don't want you to suffer, but I want to know if something's changed, so that I could, if I have to take you into the vet and be seen, get x-rays or whatever, I want to know that. So that's my approach. And luckily, she doesn't suffer, or she's not in great pain. But let me show you what I'm talking about her hips, because I think Vince knows what I'm talking about. This is just turned 4. My dog is a Staffy, 80 pounds, and she's 140, and he riled her up. Good advice. I'm going to give some more raw. I already do raw Simon, but we'll try more. Yeah. I mean, just, I'm not saying that's a cure-all, but that may offer some help. And I think I wish if we had the time to devote to going all raw, I think I would. I know, I'm not gonna say I think, I would prefer my dogs would be on a raw diet. Truly would prefer them to be on that. I just think it's a much better, because processed foods, if it's not good for me, it can't be good for them. So, but on the safe side, making sure, because if I'm not gonna be 100% in where I can invest the time and energy to make sure they have the right food, then I need to do the right thing. Make sure they have all the vitamins and minerals they need from the kibble, until I'm able to get to a spot where I'm only going raw diet. And that transition for me has been extremely difficult because of how busy we are in our family. So, not what I want. It's not what I want at all, but it is what we need to do to make sure they're safe. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Vince said, "Big money though. I could do more though." Yeah. So and I'll say, Vince, it's not for me. It's not really about necessarily the money when it comes to the raw diet. It's the commitment to making, because I mean that's one thing that Paul did for this channel. He offered a way to get basically raw diet for almost free, y'all. And what I mean by almost free is he gave us the suggestion of going to your local butcher and get their scrap pieces. Let's go check on the Cane Corso, see what he's doing. They're kind of tired, but they'll give you like whatever they don't want to sell. They'll just kind of like give it to you. You just have to pick through it and get the parts with more muscle than anything, because you don't want to give them all bones, right? So you have to kind of pick through it, but it's free. And so that stuff is available. Now, is that all that they need? No, because they need chicken feet, they need, liver, and they need, animal heart. They need organs and stuff like that, kidneys and stuff. They need a lot of different things in that particular, in the right proportions too. You can't be over a certain proportion of liver, or you give them, vitamin A toxicity. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful when you do that. So, and that takes time to get each one of your meals to be what they need. So, if you don't have that time and to invest in that, just do the safe thing for now until you're able to get to that point. That's what I'm doing. Being safe. When I could go raw, I'm down for it. Or do what you're doing. The whole like I could do salmon, raw salmon for them, get them their protein, get them their minerals from the raw salmon, and then the rest I have to supplement with kibble. That works too. So Lucifer says, I have a 140-pound Great Dane Rhodesian Ridgeback Cross, currently training him for ES. He's doing great. Knows focus, release, and the basic commands, but any advice, he is a little bit reactive. Yeah, so you got what I have right now because he's 140 pounds. It's like having this dog. So reactive stuff is it's hard to work with, but it can be done. They need some form of redirection whenever they are reacted to things, and I guarantee you, if you would watch me with this guy, let's say about 6 months ago to 8 months ago, he was not as good as he is now. Now, I'm not saying he's perfect, so by no means. When my neighbor dogs come out their backyard, pow, and they start running, his first instinct is to be reactive and jump and go run. And then I'll call him, and he would not even come back because he was in that zone. He's like, I see red, and I don't care. And so I've had to work with him to get that recall back. Just first of all, if he's off leash, he's got an advantage, right? Because he can run faster than I can, and he can bolt and do what he wants to do. And you don't really want to just kind of yell at your dog after the fact whenever they don't associate what you're yelling about with the event. You know what I mean? So that can be an issue. Then they'll just get afraid of you yelling. They're not understanding that you're trying to get them to stop being so reactive. So what I did was I said, okay, well, if I can't catch you, what I'm gonna do is I put the leash on him, and I put a long lead to give him the ability to take off. And then when he realizes, like, then when at the end of that rope, he can't go anywhere, right? So, and I'll have the rope kind of close to the long lead on my, I'll step on it, whatever. So he runs off. I'm like, Rain, come back, come back, come back. And he's still gone, right? And boop, he run out of rope. Then I can grab that long lead and say, nope, I told you to come back, and give him that feedback. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can run, but that's not what dad wants me to do. So I had to do that over and over and over. And now it's improved. It's not 100%, but now what I've noticed is he may run over there, but I call him, hey, boy, come here now. I change my tone of my voice, let him know I'm displeased, and he'll come back. He'll come back. So like I said, not 100%, but he'll come back. Now, the other thing that I've done for reactivity on the I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the stream where I showed you guys my the leashes. So every time I walk them, I use as an opportunity to correct reactive stuff. So so this is the leashes that I use with my dogs. It's the slip knot leashes. So basically, the more tension that they put on the line by going a different direction, the more this will kind of cinch down on their neck, kind of cut off their airway. And I have a little safety spot here, so it can only go so tight on their neck, okay? So it doesn't hurt them, but they get the message. And what I do is, so whenever the moment that their ears perk up and they start looking the wrong direction, I give them a verbal cue. Nope, kind of the Caesar Milan kind of thing. And if that doesn't give them, I give them a quick jolt on that line, give them that immediate correction. Every time they look up to go look at some other dog or some other squirrel, you give them that immediate feedback. Nope. Give them that quick correction. And then over time they'll get, okay, well, I'm not allowed to do that. Now, what's better is if you can follow that up with when they do what you ask them to do, follow it up with a positive reinforcement. Give them a treat, give them some love, give them some, good job. Give them that negative and the positive, so they get that behavior that you are asking them to do, which is not be so reactive. So it takes time, and I have to admit, I'm in the throes of that myself. So you and I, we're working on the same issues, but it is way better than it was when I first started. Um, it's just the way it is, and that's including that 4-year-old Rottweiler over there. She's the same way. She has to get that negative feedback and positive feedback on top when she does. Oh, here she's walking away, guys. Watch this. What I was telling you. See how she's limping? Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. See, on that back left leg. Now it kind of, as she moves around, it gets better. You can almost not even tell it after as she moves around. It's just the same thing as osteoarthritis in humans. That's what I was referring to. Anyway, so that's been my approach for like reactiveness is negative to make sure they get the behavior that you don't want to do. Make sure they understand, hey, this is directly what I don't want you to do. You can't do it after the fact. You can't wait till, like if they done it 2 minutes ago when you're yelling at them, they don't know what you're saying. They have no clue. They just think that you're mad at them for whatever reason. Mad at them just being to exist. Like, you're not mad because you exist. I'm mad because you did some act. So you have to do that negative in association of the negative act. And then I follow it up with the positive when they turn away from what I'm asking or do what I'm asking them to do. And using the leash. Now, I'm sure there's some other people that have some other ideas, but that's how I do it. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, no problem. That's what I do. Refocus their attention quicker. Yes, absolutely. That's what Haza said. Nanda Bear says, I have a Cane Corso and a Bulldog. Yes. Hi Trent, what's going on? You need head control. Yeah, so Haza, that's the other one. That's the other thing. They have these like leashes where it's pretty much around their face. I don't know. Maybe it's not a leash. I don't know what it's called, but essentially what you do is you they have it designed where it controls their head. So if it's kind of like here, and you can kind of move their face this direction versus that direction, they will. It actually helps you redirect them. So I'm not using that kind of leash. Mine is mainly from the neck, and they respond fairly well to that. And I've trained them to pay attention to my correction with my voice. So he knows the moment that those ears perk up and he starts looking up at the dog that's behind the fence, I go, I give him that Caesar Berlin thing, and he'll immediately switch his head forward because he knows what I mean by that. So, so I don't have the one that redirects their face. I think that's a great option, but I just don't use that one. Oh yeah, so the Rottweiler and the Cane Corso, like he doesn't bite unprovoked, but the people who used to have him hurt him pretty bad, so he nips at certain movements, but has never been aggressive. Yeah, so the nipping dog, yeah, that's one that there's a behavior that your dog is doing that's unacceptable, and then and so you have to like so that's where you give the negative correction. You say nope, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to nip. The other thing that you could do is, I'm not sure if you want to keep that going forever, but I use a muzzle. So I use muzzles. Whenever I take her out to try to socialize her, she has to have a muzzle on her, because if she does nip or tries to rowl back and bite somebody, it's going to be my fault. But the muzzle offers that protection for her own good. And when it comes to my Cane Corso, same thing. Now he doesn't nip necessarily, but he has been with the family members that are not strong leaders. He has tried to correct them or try to get them to do what he asked them to do, kind of thing, like get off the couch because no, this is my couch. And he has bitten somebody. It was a sad day in our household, but because we didn't see that. Everyone else around the house has been kind of good leaders around him, but we didn't see that he was going to do that. So whenever they come around and they're not showing leadership, we definitely use the muzzle on him as well. And he doesn't like it, and I prefer to have the family members be more of a leader, because that offers them protection regardless if I'm around or not. But until we get there, we have to use the muzzle. Okay. Is it getting hot over there, baby? It's getting hot over there. Yeah, y'all. So y'all, the temperature's warming up, and these guys have not eaten. So I think I'm gonna probably go ahead and end the stream. thank y'all for hanging out with us. We're gonna get some food. We're gonna rest and digest for the rest of the day. They've already had their exercise. I got some yard work to do too. So, but thank y'all for hanging out with us, and thank y'all for the 24 likes. That's awesome. That's good for us. We'll take it. And if you're interested and want to see more of this, I've got a bunch of short videos that we do. We try to do a little bit of comedy on the side. And I'm not a dog trainer by any means, guys. So don't take me and criticize me. This guy's trying to be a dog. No, I'm not trying to be a dog trainer. I'm only just sharing my life with these guys, and and how we approach it as someone who's. Because I mean, do you really have to be a certified dog trainer to have dogs like this? Probably not. But you do have to do certain things. There are certain things you have to be able to do. Like, if not, you're gonna have problems. So that's the only thing I talk about is what I do, why I do it, and so it's safe for me, it's safe for my dogs, it's safe for my family members. That's my approach, and I'm here to learn from the dog trainers that do come on and offer, or even people with other experiences. Share that wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep that knowledge passed along, because how many times have I regretted not knowing something, and my dogs paid the price because I was ignorant? Too many times, okay? Too many times. So I'm gonna share all the information I can, so that you guys, if you do get you a big dog, if you do get a dog like this, you need to be aware of these stuff. You need to be aware of these before you get them, because if not, we're gonna keep having problems. So we're not interested in that. We want to have good lives for the dogs, good lives for the humans, and then so share the information. If you know something that I don't know, please share it. We'll tell everybody that watches the video, so they are aware. Little small things. Little small things, like I always talk about the collars, right? People say, well, why don't your dogs have collars? Because we've had an issue where we had a collar accident and it cost me the life of my dog. So I'm very, very against having collars with dogs like this that play rough like they do in my backyard. Now, when we leave and go places, by all means, put the collars on. You need it I'm cool with that. But in my backyard, when my dogs are allowed to play, because they have their own doggy door, they come out here and play all day long. There's too many things out here that collar can get caught on and have another accident. So I pass that information on along. Say, hey, if you got big dogs, especially you got more than one dog, and they play rough, be careful with them collars. Because if it gets hung on something, your dogs can pay the price. Never knew that, okay? I never knew that. Wish I had known that. Somebody told me 2-3 years ago that was a possibility. I would have another dog here still alive with me today. But I didn't know that. So I'm going to pass that on. Anyways, there's more stuff I talk about, but I have to get to y'all next time. If you want to see us again, we try to come on every Sunday morning if we can. We missed last Sunday, but for those that follow us and want to watch my dogs grow up and watch me deal with all my challenges, I'm around. You can always send me a message, but if you also need some entertainment, check out some of them dog videos I put up. You know what I'm saying? Check out some of them dogs. I got some good ones. I got some where I wrote music for my dogs and everything. Like, I'm a musician too, by the way. I'm not just military. So just check them out. Have fun. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a nice... let me get these last comments real quick. Because in India, you have the king and queen of all breed Kangals. Ooh. Yes. And then Crazy is here at the last second. Drex, man, thanks for the advice. Oh, no problem, Drex, man. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you for coming on too, man, and being a part and supporting the channel. I appreciate you, Drex, man. You've been here for a while. Yeah, Crazy, you missed it. I'm shutting it down. We'll probably be back next Sunday. And I need to start doing some more regular videos too, y'all. So y'all hang tight for that. So Dark Gaming was talking about who was more powerful, the Cane Corso or Rottweiler. By far, the Cane Corso is much stronger than the Rottweiler. I'm not sure about the Kangal. Those are some big dogs. Between Cane Corso and Kangal, I'm not sure. Charles said Cane Corso and Rottweiler both guard dog breed. Yep, absolutely. They have the instinct to protect their own property. And Lucifer said thanks. Yeah. Haza, refocus. Yep. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. Okay, guys, y'all have a wonderful Sunday. Y'all stay cool, I guess, because it's hot here where we are. It's very hot. It's gonna be in the 90s. So stay cool. Stay stay relaxed, exercise your dogs, love on your dogs, train your dogs, and give them boundaries, all the good stuff. All right, y'all, have a good day. See y'all on the next one.